your hip belt at the bottom. I know there are lots of people these days that'll talk about going without a hip belt. I am not one of those. I want the weight on my hips. I don't want it on my shoulders. I don't want it pulling anywhere else. And if you put it on right, and I'll put it on and show you what I mean, it won't even touch your shoulders. Literally all of your weight will ride on your hips. And it kind of doesn't matter where you wear it on your hips. I wear mine right above my hip bones, which are right there. And you adjust the bottom first, and then work your way up. So this pack is a nice pack. You can see it's got two things. It's got a top strap and a bottom strap. And that's on purpose, by the way. Because when you hitch it up, you start at the bottom and work your way up. So you tighten the bottom up first, so it's snug around the bottom of your hip. These pull it into your body. See how without that tight, it pulls back from my body? I pull those tight, and look where it actually goes. And see this, and the angle of this? That's what you want. It will not ride on my shoulders. The shoulders are literally there just to keep it in place. And the one that goes across the front here, that's literally just to hold it so it's not rubbing and moving and all that other kind of stuff. So a good pack will cost you a couple $100. You can watch for them on sale. Get an Ultralight Pack. I started with a 5-pound pack. Well, you've got 5 pounds before you put a thing into it. So having a pack that's a pound gets you started even sooner. These guys are for water. If you're going someplace where there's lots of water, that's for the top of the water bottle and the bottom of the water bottle. And you can actually hang it here in the front. And with my phone, which is where my GPS is, I hang that here, and I hang my sunglasses here. And everything that I have is either on the pack or hanging right here where I can see it and reach it. And so a good pack is really nice, and it's really important to have a nice one. This is a single person tent, and we can set it up later if you want. It's a tarp tent, so it's a single wall tent. I got it at the secondhand place in town for less than $100. It is a single wall, 1-layer tent.
Nice.
So
that saves some weight.
Yeah. Okay. If you were in the East Coast and you had a huge amount of wet and humidity and blah blah blah, you would want a double wall tent. So the tarp tent is really nice. And if you want to feel like you're in a thing, a tent is great for that. I have not been using a tent lately. And when you met me on the trail, I'm using a Bivy lately, and I'm going to show you what this is, because it's basically an envelope. You're crawling into an envelope. And the kicker is, it's half the weight of that tent. So this is probably a half a pound. I was out in the Haymas in the Bivy. The dog sleeps with me. I got a guy's Bivy, so it's bigger. And so the dog fits in it with me, along in the tent with me.
How do you spell Bivy?
B-I-V-Y. And we were out in the Haymas, and we woke up in the morning, and I opened up the top of the Bivy, and it must have probably been about 22 degrees. It was freezing. When I pulled my sleeping bag out, there was frost between my bag and the Bivy, actually. I was perfectly fine in the Bivy.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even touch that cold. It is, if you are a cold sleeper, a Bivy is marked.
Especially with your pack and your boots and your shoes.
Yeah, so it's a great question.
With your Bivy.
Yes, I carry a pack cover. It works brilliantly. I carry one a few liters bigger than my backpack is. I put the stuff in the backpack, I put the pack cover on, I pull it tight in the back. I've never had a problem with the gear getting wet, even if it rains all the time.
That's down.
That's down, it's a dry down, and that does actually help, by the way. If you want a really cheap one, wait till the spring. You'll get them at a third the price. Or I got this one on an REI sale with a certificate for like $40.
What does dry down mean?
Dry down means it's got a chemical kind of covering on it where it repels water.
And is that the outside of it or the down itself?
It's literally the down itself. This is backup clothing, and it's not very much, by the way, unless I'm going out for a long stretch. I carry an extra pair of socks. You should always have a dry pair. It's cold at night. It's to take your feet out. By the way, I hike in tennis shoes. I don't wear boots. My feet get wet, they get wet. I hang my socks out at night. And, I wear boots. Then I carry, I always, even in the middle of summer, carry insulating clothes for underneath. A, it's nice to sleep in. Sleeping bags feel crappy against your skin. But B, you can get caught in a storm in the middle of summer, 4th of July, trying to get up in the Pecos. I was post-holing through snow. I gave up and actually turned around after a half mile of walking through water up to my shins and post-holing. So I always carry, it's light, it's not much to it, it's insulating gear. And then a cap to sleep in. And I found that I like the ones, because you can pull it down, you know, right? You pull it down over your chin, you fall asleep. You don't have to wake up 18 times and put your cap back on your head. And you fold it back, and now you've got a cozy to keep your food warm while you're eating. Yes. So if you eat stuff out of a freezer bag or something like that, you're trying to hold it in your hand, you're gonna fry your hand. So put it in your cap, and keep it off of your skin. So literally, that's all the backup clothes that I carry, unless I'm going out for a long stretch, which isn't very often. Okay, what else do I add? Oh, this is stupid, but I like it. It's my pillow. It's a Seed to Summit. That's the name of the brand of it. And I think it's a medium or a small.
I think it'll change your life in terms of camping and backpacking. It's just the best thing ever.
Yeah, I like my pillow. I like it a lot. The only other thing that I carry is my sleeping bag, which you can see pretty quick is half of my pack. I don't put it in anything. I leave it loose. Your pack is going to ride better if it feels full. And so if you're going out for a really long time, you can shove this really tiny and tight in the bottom of the bag. If you don't have very much in it, you can just let it fill up the rest of the bag, and the pack will actually ride better. So this, I spent real money on. This was $500. It's a Western Mountaineering 20-degree bag. Now, if you sleep badly, this will help a lot. It breathes like a charm. If you're going to spend money on any one thing, get yourself a really good bag. If you sleep cold, get a bag that's rated lower than you think you're ever going to need. The other kicker is, this is going to be a third the weight of a cheap bag, and you know, for $200 more than the cheap bag would cost you, get a nice bag. This is a Western Mountaineering. They make really nice bags. They make them in the States. That's my pad. It is an insulated pad. They have R values for the pads. Check the R values. So this is a Thermarest. This is also expensive. I literally just bought it for me. But it's 3 inches deep. And even Linda said, oh, I could probably sleep on that. And it's a real slick, but it's got a high R value to it. This is my poncho. This is also a tarp. So it doubles as both. So when I said I put my poncho out, I didn't even have any rope on. I wasn't even very bright about how I pack things. I just hooked 2 ends on the tree and 2 ends under a rock. And that's what I had over me during that rainstorm that night. But this is sil nylon. It won't wet through. It is both a poncho, the military basically created these things. It's both a poncho, and then you unsnap it, and you've got a tarp on the deal. It's a Sea to Summit military poncho. I always carry 2 ways to treat water. Always. If one fails, you want to have another way to do it. My current way is these Katydid. I love them. They're like $35, and you can get different sized liters. You can get 3 liter, 1 liter, that sort of thing. The filter is literally in it. That's the filter, and it's Katydid. They've made filters for years and years and years and years, since the 60s. And you can swish that to clean it out. That's it. And you swish it, you clean it up, and you off you go. You put it on the top, you squeeze it through. I also always carry Aquamira. Always. This is the same chemicals that they put in the water supply. And there's 2 parts to it. There's a part A and a part B. Equal drops of both. 8 drops of one, 8 drops of the other. Swish it together. That does a liter. You let it sit for 5 minutes. It'll turn yellow. You put it in your water. You let your water sit for 30 minutes. You are now completely protected from any kind of virus or anything along those lines. So if there's anything questionable about your water, or you think, oh, that's just gross because it's from a cattle tank, take both. put Aquamira in it. It's like my hygiene kit, toilet paper, toothpaste, wipes. That's all I take. I don't carry a shovel. I carry sticks. So I have walking sticks. I didn't bring them up. My entire cook kit is right here, and everything lives, it nests inside one another. And so I've got a little 1 liter. It's dirty, but that's my pot. And inside of it is the kit. I know you think I'm gonna make food. So what do I use to light stuff? I use a big lighter. In case you were to need a fire of some kind, it's a fire starter. You don't have to buy them, by the way. Take Vaseline and your lint from your lint trap. Same thing. Put it in a plastic bag, carry it along. It's free. This is my cook kit. This is a little tiny thing. It only costs about 12 bucks at Sportsman's Warehouse. Wow. You get the stand and the little heater. You get the whole thing, and it's like 12 bucks. So you don't need to spend very much on this either. So how this works is you put the alcohol inside, and you'll see there's little holes around the top. This thing is like $6. You can make it out of cans if you want. But how this alcohol actually burns is the fumes burn. Okay, so what else do I take? Just a handful more stuff. I always take some money and some, this is Gorilla Tape.
Why are you carrying money? Because my boyfriend says he carries money in case he needs to pay somebody for a ride.
That's why I'm carrying it. So to turn around and have 20 bucks to pay somebody to drive me around to a trail where I know I could have taken off again, I always take a $20 bill. And then this is like Gorilla Tape. It sticks to anything, anywhere, anytime. You need to fix something, a little bit of, just a chunk of tape will get you through that. I take a knife. Take a knife. You don't have to, I don't use it very often, but you know what? Every now and then, it's handy. Always take a paper map. But I use my phone a lot. I record my stuff on Gaia. So it's Gaia. It's probably the best hiking app out there. There's a free version of it. You don't have to pay. I pay because I use it a ton. And I like recording things and you can see it. So I carry a backup battery. I can go easily 10 days with my phone and just this as a backup battery. And that combination works really great with this little critter. So this is an InReach from Garmin. It tracks, Linda can see every time it leaves a dot. She can text me and I can text her. It's got 2 services with it. One is the actual service that allows you to make dots and all that kind of stuff with it. And the other one is an insurance service. So if you pay the insurance service, they will pay to haul you out. If you break a leg or something like that, the insurance will cover the costs of actually taking you out. And I highly recommend it. So there's that, and oh, these are awesome, by the way. This is my headlamp. And that's all it is.
Oh.
And it's slick and it's tiny and it works like a charm. It is a I hike in this kind of gear. Don't wear cotton, right? No cotton. You can pay a lot of money for this, or you can have my wife go to Savers and she will find you all the cool gear.